The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard writes that in the individual life, anxiety is the moment. Now, what does he mean? What he's talking about there is not just that when you are anxious, when you experience anxiety, you are experiencing the moment, that you're feeling the moment of time in a way that you aren't normally feeling it. That's part of it, absolutely. And that one reason we should welcome anxiety on Kierkegaard's account is that we very often, because of distraction, because of because of mental habits, because of the many activities that pull on us during the day, we fail to notice the moment that we happen to be in. But when you're anxious, as you yourself have noticed, every time you've been anxious, you're very aware of the moment that you're in. But he also means something much more robust than that. That is another reason we should be grateful to anxiety rather than running away from it. For Kierkegaard, what he wants us to notice about anxiety is that we have a tendency in our lives to reach back into the past in terms of finding the narratives that make sense of where we are right now, and also constantly to be projecting into the future for hopes and dreams and things that we might achieve, ways in which our present life seem unsatisfactory to us, but down the road we will have something more or something better or become someone other than who we are. And what Kierkegaard points out to us when he insists that in anxiety we are experiencing the moment is that we are always only in the moment that we presently occupy. Whether it was in the past or it is at some time in the future, you are also always only going to be in the moment that you are in. And so, as easy as it is to miss this, anxiety focuses our attention on the fact that we are not as swept away by the memories we have of the past or the anticipations that we have of the future as we suppose we are, or as we have a habit of being. When we are anxious, we're like, no, it is really me here right now in this present moment, and that this present moment is, of course, it occurs in time, but it is of itself not exactly a temporal thing. Kierkegaard thinks that when you are anxious, you actually have this opportunity to experience eternity in the way that we mean robustly the notion of eternity. Excuse me, there's a little bit of anxiety in the moment as I fix this reluctant tuft of hair. It's just going to have to stay the way that it is, I think. The point is that your consciousness, when you are anxious, you become aware of the way in which your consciousness actually contains the totality of your experience. You become aware of the eternal kind of a thing that you really are, because you're experiencing this anxiety which even threatens to overwhelm you by the acuteness of your awareness of yourself in that moment and of your experience in that moment. So if you can, on Kierkegaard's account, rather than, and this will be something we'll be talking about in all all 10 of these reasons for thinking about anxiety. If you can turn toward that anxiety, if you can welcome that anxiety, if you can treat that anxiety like a fisherman would treat a fish that he pulled the fish out of the sea, and at last he's caught this fish. You at last have caught this anxiety. You have it now. There it is, and you're going to hold on to it. That grabbing hold of the anxiety is making you aware of the vastness of your experience as the particular individual that you are. That right now, in this moment of anxiety, you are enormous. You are bigger than time, really. Much bigger than time. And this is what he means by eternal. Eternal isn't lasting for a very, very long time. It is the opposite of the temporal. And when you are in that moment of anxiety, you can experience yourself as the totality of everything that you ever can experience or ever will experience is already present right here, because that is the moment that you are in. They're always going by, these moments. But when you're anxious, you get the physical experience and also the mental, the painful mental experience of how acute these moments are, and how infused with yourself, how rich with your particular way of thinking of things these moments are. It is never somebody else's anxiety. And it isn't the anxiety of what you have done in the past, although that might provide a spur to the anxiety. It isn't an anxiety about who you will be in the future, even though, again, this may be the kind of crystal that you're like really worried about something that's going to happen and you feel like this has provoked the anxiety. The anxiety itself is what is making you aware of the moment that you are in. So next time you're feeling really anxious, try this. Try noticing how it brings you very much into the present moment, the moment you are in right now. And rather than trying to escape from the anxiety, take that chance to notice the moment that you're in. Really notice all of it, and the details, of course, of the anxiety you're feeling. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you. There'll be another one of these reasons to be grateful for anxiety coming soon.